Maybe. Okay, it looks like we're live. Thank you for joining the stream tonight, everyone. It looks like we have a decent group of people watching. Let me get one little thing set up here as my computer loads. I don't want to have any weird echoes. Okay, so here we go. So thank you for joining, everyone. We've done one of these live streams before, not on my channel, but however, it was on RJ's channel, and it was a catalog review. But this is going to be a little different. It's going to be a kind of roundtable discussion with your favorite O-Gauge or O-Scale train YouTubers. And then we also have a special guest this evening. So I'm just going to change the screen here and introduce everybody, and then we can get going here. So here's everybody. We have Chris from Chris's Trains and Things. We have Chris from RBP Trains. We have Jason from Jason's O-Gauge Trains or JD Stucks. And then we have our special guest. Oh, wait, no. We also have RJ from RJ's Trains.
Thank you.
Then we have our special guest. The first time ever seeing him on another channel, a collaboration, we have Zach from Country Bunkers Trains. It's an honor to have you. Yeah, it's an honor to have you on here, Zach.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you on
Salute.
here.
Thank you, guys.
Salute.
A big salute
Started off right,
to
right?
Country Bunker.
Yeah, salute to Country Bunkers Trains.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
And it's I'm really happy that we have you on here, Zach. And I'm just happy that we're doing this. It's always fun doing these live streams because it allows all of us to talk, and then it allows us to talk with all of our followers. Let's see how many people we got watching. We have 80 people watching right now. Thank you all for joining. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, check out all of their channels. In the description of this video is a link to all of their channels. Make sure to like and subscribe to their channels and their videos so you can see all their amazing content. So let's just let me check out one thing. Okay, so now that I've kind of introduced everyone, Zach, how does it feel to be on another person's channel? Kind of a first time for everything.
Not bad, not bad. I mean, it's a learning curve for sure, but we're getting the hang of it. I feel like I'm in a studio. You should see behind me, or behind you guys, I guess I should say, all the stuff everywhere.
I think we all feel that way, you know.
Yeah,
we're doing all this.
the same way.
Like, you know, behind me you see layout. In front of me it's like stacked containers that I pulled from under the layout and prop my camera up on for tonight. But
Of course.
his live streams are tricky that way, you know.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome.
Right.
You know, for those of you watching, it's been months in the making to get Country Bunker on here. It was around Christmas time when he did his Christmas extravaganza, like where you had like the Christmas tree suit on and you were giving away like the electric car, and you're like, what are you
You're
saying,
making me
Jason?
feel so elusive.
That was it, though. That was
Right?
it. That
I mean-
giveaway. The giveaway was great, Zach. That was that. Hooked
No,
up
that
with
worked
people.
out. Thank you. No, that worked out really, really good. I was quite happy with how that worked out. I didn't know what to expect. I figured, we'll give it a try. I didn't want to do the kind of standard, we're going to draw numbers or stuff like that. And then Tony had that idea with the smoke show contest, and man, people ate that up.
Well,
But it
that's
worked
the
out.
thing,
Perfect.
like,
But I didn't know what to expect. I figured, well, we'll do it, see what happens. I figure, we'll get 10, 20 people, if that maybe. And then next thing I know, I'm getting like 80, 90 emails overnight. I said, holy crap. But it was a lot of fun.
I remember talking to Zach because I thought he was blowing me off, right? Because I was like, Zach, I submitted my video. He's like, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't expect to get so many emails. He's like, I don't know how I'm going to pick a winner. It's taking me forever to go through all of the content.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I've learned from folks like Jason trying to do giveaways and Zach doing giveaways. And I don't know if you guys have done giveaways, but
Yeah.
that's
They're very stressful.
it's
Yes.
a big job. I would need like a sweepstakes company or something like that goes to my kid's school, like a booster club to be like, let's do a giveaway, RBP.
I'm gonna do another one, but I'm gonna change it a little bit. I think doing trivia is gonna be better. I was doing that random number thing. That causes too much confusion and people get upset. You have to do something trivia based that kind of rewards the people who actually watch the channel. And
I can only guess what the
I think
question
it's going to
is.
work that way. I'll let you know how it works out in a few weeks.
The answer is Norfolk Southern.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. For anybody watching
Did I win?
Jason's stuff, Norfolk Southern, done. Or what's the guy's name? Batista, the WWE wrestler. Batista, that's your layout protege.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's anyway. I digress. So what is that, Sid? Again, thanks for hosting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was curious.
Mhm.
Tonight, I think what we want to do is little O-Gauge chat for your Thursday going into the holiday weekend. So
Yes.
nice way to break things up. Hopefully, some people have off tomorrow, and if you're working like I am, hopefully we can break up your night. But figure we'll go around and chat. I'm curious to know, everybody's been putting out a lot of videos lately on different trains they're getting. Jason finally came out of his little sabbatical today and showed off his cool turntable. What's everybody working on? Sid, Mr. Hostman, why don't you kick it off?
So I'll start. I have actually been working on something that's in the other room more than I have the layout itself. I have the business of working on the trains for people, and I had a workbench, and it had always been messy, and it was mainly messy because it was so small. It wasn't long enough for me to have multiple stations where I could be working on different things at a time. So I've decided to get rid of that workbench and make a new one, and it's actually on basically this wall. It's now on this wall out there, and it's about 8 feet long. It's actually made out of an old door. It's hung off the wall and some legs, and I will be posting some pictures on a community post soon, and also on Instagram and stuff like that, just to show it off and just see kind of like Sid's Back Shop. I have this other channel called Sid's Back Shop, and this is what it is. This is my shop where I work on all the trains, and that's really been the big thing that I've been working on. But the only other layout related thing is I just got in my Millhouse River Studios turntable, which is awesome. I'm really happy that Jason and Chris convinced me to get that finally. It's well worth it. I was playing with Chris's, and then I remember seeing Jason's. It's huge. I pulled it out of the box the other day. I got the 34-inch, and it's just massive. It's just crazy that there's just this hunk of metal that's going to be my turntable. It's just wild, and I'm really excited to install that. But if you guys want to go see one in action, go check out Jason's channel and his new layout update. Hey,
Yeah.
go check it out, and you can see that in action. But that's kind of just what's been going on with me, so I'm not going to ramble on for too long. We'll just move on to Chris's trains and things. What have you been doing?
All right. Well, we've got some pre-orders have been coming in. I posted my video of the Polar Express Acela. That was a buy after visiting my buddy RBP about a week or two ago. But I have the Acela, the prototype Acela expansion set arrived finally from Charles Rowe after what felt like it sat in their shipping room for 2 weeks. And the actual set hasn't come yet. So I'm waiting on that. It should be delivered tomorrow, and then I'll have a video on that one coming out. So those are the two big pieces. I spent probably 2.5 hours under my layout on Sunday last week working on my under layout reversing loop, and I've got like this much space to go, this much track space before it's complete, and I just have to wire it up, and that will be done, and then I can get a video out on that. That's really exciting because that's been a project that I've been really working on since I tore the yard out back in January. So that's exciting. We've got, what else is coming? York is just around the corner, and I'm picking up a big box at York from my buddy Bob Spalding from Altoona Model Works. And so Sid was just talking about buying his giant turntable, and Jason just showed off his today in his update video. And I think that Jason will at some point here also agree with me, Sid, that now you have to buy a roundhouse for that turntable because nothing beats an Altoona Model Works roundhouse. So that's going to be the next peer pressure piece. But Sid actually has a couple things that belong to me. He was down at one of our favorite stores, Toy Trains and Collectibles. What, 3 weeks ago, Sid? Was it 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was about 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
And a gentleman there was selling some Golden Gate Depot cars to Dan, who owns the store. and Sid sent me a picture, and I couldn't pass him up. So Sid picked him up for me, shot him a
You're such a
Venmo,
hard
and
sell, you know.
seriously, I know,
There's
it's
a train in
tough.
front of you. It's okay. It's
I'll
karma for what
take
you
it.
did to me at York in October.
Hey, I just pointed out those shark nose diesels. I didn't force you to buy them. That was on you, RBP. So anyway, he's got those, and then he has an engine of mine that I've been excited about since October. So that'll be here hopefully soon, and we were going to highlight that, and Sid's going to, I'm sure, put some content out afterwards on that as well. And so there's a lot of things happening here. It's been exciting. I'm ready for the layout to be done underneath, at least the reversing loop, and then we've got a lot of stuff coming in, and then York. So if you're in the chat and you are going to York, it looks like we've got about 90 people live right now from my view. If you're going to York, let us know. We are going to, a couple of us will be there one of the days, if not two. I'll be there Friday and Saturday. I'm sure the other guys will shout out when they will be there. We are still trying to peer pressure Zach to buy a late plane
rub it in some more.
We're going to
At least Florida Zach can pick you up, and then we'll road trip up, and it'll be the best road trip of my life.
Exactly. We'll start planning.
I just got to make York here in the train room for myself.
There you go.
We'll bring
that's awesome. We can do a York unboxing. So Zach, send us your wish list. We'll do the shopping for you and send you what we find. How's that?
Hey, I'm game.
It's perfect. And then you can do
a good time.
Yeah, we could do a York unboxing that way, and then we'll just peer pressure you for October. You got to come up for that. How's that sound?
I wish I could say so, but we're actually getting married in October, so
hey, congratulations!
I can't do October.
Look at this! Look at this!
Right. Well, we got a whole other year
on the
planning
stream tonight. Yes.
Big
salute.
Hey,
that's
cheers.
So that's enough of me. RBP, what's going on?
Well, first I have to wish a happy birthday to one of the viewers who watches several of our channels. Goes by the name, I think, Foxy Kitty and Lucario. I'm assuming that's some sort of character, but happy birthday. Glad you're with us on your birthday. Hopefully you had a nice one. So what's new over here? Well, I think we've had a lot of stuff going on lately. There was a video I did a couple weeks ago where I ran just about every passenger train. So I got to figure out what's coming next. Yeah, we just ran the Polex, Acela. The Acelas are everywhere right now. So if you're thinking about getting one and you're able to get one, I would do it. It's totally worth it.
Oh,
it is one amazing train.
Be right back.
Thank you, Jason. So yes, we've been trying to get Jason to get one, and I think everybody in the chat who knows Jason's massive layout, it would only look right having an Acela flying around that. So it's a no-brainer. But it's up to you, man.
Would be a great candidate for his first permanent legacy engine.
As far as what's new with me, if you subscribe to Classic Toy Trains, it's been where am I at? It's been a year in the making, but I am in the latest issue of Classic Toy Trains. So we started this process. The story behind this article was I was contacted last year and by Roger Karp. They found my layout because of a blog where the benchwork had been built, but no scenery was on it. And he called me and said, Chris, we'd be interested in looking at your layout for an article. Can you send me some photos of some scenes on your layout? I didn't have any scenes on the layout at the time. So I basically, in a panic, went to Woodland Scenics because everybody was kind of closed. It was it 2021? Yeah, things were kind of still on the brink of reopening. And I ordered buildings and bridges and flock and trees. And in a week and a half, staying up till 3 a.m. every night, I rushed the layout together. And that's kind of around the time the channel started. So you probably remember early videos of me what's up? I'm doing my stuff at night. That was all because I was trying to get pictures for this magazine. So anyway, that's the big news here. It's really exciting. And that's what I've been working on. Also picked up a new set, which is behind me. You probably can't see it. It is a MPC Chessie Steam special set, which is one I've been looking for forever. Here's one of the boxes for the passenger cars, the Baby Madison cars. So we'll have a video on that coming up because MPC is awesome. And I really like running it. But enough of me babbling. We're going. Oh, look. Hey, Hal, Roger. Good to see you guys here. Jason Stuckert. What's new? You dropped your video today, which was great for my lunchtime.
Yeah.
Watch the whole thing.
It's conveniently, if you want to know what's been going on with me, I just posted my layout update 10 today, which was long overdue. After some regular posting and some relatively successful videos, I kind of disappeared there for a month, maybe a little longer. But
We were wondering where you were at.
yeah, I was, got abducted while on vacation in Mexico. Took a few weeks to get back. No, not really. Yeah, but I was on vacation, and I had a lot of other things going on with work and school, and then I hosted the Detroit Three Railers this past weekend. So it was like every time I wanted to update everybody, there just wasn't any time. So I finally got around to the update this week, and the big thing is the turntable. It's been installed, it's operating. I have the 3 lead tracks going to the turntable. I have those wired up, and now I have to go after the whisker tracks, which means I have to get the base of the roundhouse painted and secured, and get the tracks secured and in place, and get power wired up. So it's going to be a little tedious, but you can check all that out on the update that I posted today. The thing that I'm really excited about is I got my backdrops in the mail from Backdrop Warehouse, and even just doing a really short mock-up of temporarily taping it to the wall, I can't wait to get those things installed, because I can tell it's going to transform the basement and the whole layout. It's going to cover from the far end of the layout all the way around the peninsula. So it's going to be, might not even look like the same layout when it's all done. So that's the exciting stuff going on here. And I have a bunch of, I do have some new engines to show off in future videos. So I've got a long list of videos I'd like to do. It's just finding the time has been difficult lately, but they're coming. So that's about
Jason, those backdrops are going to completely change your layout, man. They're going to look awesome. The pictures of your mock-up in your video today,
Yeah, I saw that.
looks like
That one picture.
awesome.
Oh yeah, thanks. Well, and Chris, you would know, you just got all new backdrops for your layout. Same deal, from
That's right.
the far end to the total opposite end. It makes it look like a new layout. So yeah, I think it's going to be pretty cool. That's I can't wait.
The backdrops make the difference. One day I will replace all of my stitched together little ones with something cohesive. But for now, as long as I keep the camera zoomed in, we're okay.
Well, you've had pretty good success with what you have, regardless, I'd say. So
Yeah.
I did see a comment come in from Joseph saying, "Where are the trains? I just see guys talking." So we'll get to them, I promise. In these live streams, it's a little hard to get the trains rolling around. We got to, what we can do is, we'll get them rolling in a minute. Don't want to get them going and you can't hear what anyone is saying. Unless, of course, you just came for the trains, in which case I should just shut up.
But it looks like it's RJ's turn.
Well, as you can see behind me, I have this glorious layout behind me, just like all the other guys. But as I've explained a few times in my videos, I actually live in Washington, D.C. for most of the year. And I make it back home, about once a month. And I film all of my videos that go up on my channel of my layout in like these 1 weekend spans. So I'll be home for 72 hours and I'll record 3 videos to try to get me until the next time I am able to get back home. But if you watched my wonderful live stream last night, I unboxed the brand new Lionel Legacy Acela, the prototype version. It was real fun, so thank you for all of you guys who tuned in, who are watching tonight. But thankfully, RBP, he is letting me invade his layout for one evening so I can record a video on the Acela for you guys. Because my layout back home is too small to actually run the Acela, so it's going to make a great shelf piece in my apartment here down in DC.
Selfishly, I'm looking forward to this because now I get to see like yours next to the original version of it. It's going to be great.
Next to the Polar Express.
Yeah, and the Polex. Yeah, we'll have all 3 of them going.
Yeah. So
I'm sure nothing can go wrong in this video.
No, absolutely nothing. Lionel trains are going to work flawlessly. Yes, I do need space.
Sorry.
No, it's funny. It's funny. It's funny.
Yes, Nicole. We do need more space. The 400 square foot apartment just isn't going to cut it. But
I'm waiting for you to just put a loop of track on your floor, and each video is you just sitting in the middle of the floor, like you're in like a library as like an elementary school kid.
yeah,
You're just like, hey guys, it's
the
RJ.
the old Lionel ads. See,
Yes.
it would make sense if I didn't have this monster. But anyways, as Sid so graciously put up on the screen before, I'll be attending York just on Saturday with Nicole, and we have an interesting video idea in mind, so be on the lookout for that sometime after York goes live. And something that hasn't been up on YouTube, I've only posted it on Instagram, but I also recently picked up a K-Line Hudson along with some matching passenger cars. So I'm hoping to film a video on that this weekend while I go home for Easter.
We will be
There's
looking
actually-
forward to that.
Yeah. So hold on. I've had a few people suggest that I do a shelf layout here in my apartment. Well, I'm just gonna address that right now. One, I'm moving in a couple of months, so I'm not gonna spend all this time building and putting money.
What's a
into
couple
stuff.
of months though?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's a good point, Zach. It's where it always starts. I'm just
You
a
You
few
have to
months.
do it now,
2
make
years
mistakes,
later.
and then do it better in a couple months.
Yep.
And then I'd have to bring all of my electronic equipment down from my layout back home so I could run it properly down here, like my TIU and my 990 set, because you know 990 sets only cost $1,200 nowadays. So
I'm hearing a lot of excuses right now. I need to hear more positive.
Right. We need some positive energy on this.
I know.
on this endeavor. I think everyone's encouraging you, RJ. I think it's an opportunity.
So Sid lives 15 minutes from me. Chris lives pretty close, and Chris Trains is up in Lancaster, so you guys can do the math from Washington, D.C. So, you know, it's nice having three buddies nearby, and I can go run trains on their layout, and I'm getting hankering for it, and saves me money on building a shelf layout here in my apartment.
If you build a shelf layout, I will change my shirt on a video.
That's tempting. That is tempting.
I will be down. Send me the measurements, RJ. We'll get the wood cut, and I'll go down to the truck and get it installed next week.
He'll change his shirt, but it'll be like a dark blue navy. The cake. You need to do that as like April Fool's prank next year. Like, just change it by like one slight variation in the color.
Lime green, baby.
Throw
Lime
everybody
green.
off.
All right, Bunker. So
Well,
you
y'all are
obviously
putting me to
cut into
shame.
your ceiling and built a thunderstorm. So let's hear about everything you're doing.
Y'all are putting me to shame. I don't really have a whole lot to share at the moment.
I didn't cut a hole in my ceiling to build a thunderstorm
Well,
layout.
we haven't gone that far. We haven't gone that far yet. But yeah, we did get the thunderstorm in. Obviously, if you've been on my channel, we got two layouts in here. You guys really can't see the second one. The second one is the one that I've been working on currently. And I've been real bad. I really need to get back into gear. I've been working on a mountain over here on one side, and then I got trains running, and yeah. Been enjoying the trains. Haven't really been doing a whole lot of work. Like some of the other guys here, I do have a couple pre-orders that have come in. I'm hoping to go get those either tomorrow or Saturday. We'll be hopefully doing a video on those. But yeah, like I say, not really a whole lot going on. I've been sharing everything on the channel that I got going on.
Yeah, well, Zach, you're being very humble because you make amazing progress on both of those layouts. Every time
well, thank you.
you have a new video, which it seems like one every week, there's just more and more done. And it's also impressive. The other layout that you just finished up, it was like yesterday I felt like you just cleared that off and started it. And now it's totally packed. Like it's pretty much done. It's awesome. And this new one too, that thunderstorm scene, I love it. I really do.
Thank you. I really got to give kudos to Nick, PGH Train Fanatic.
Oh, yeah.
As well as Dan Teal. He was one of our contestants on the Christmas giveaway. But yeah, those guys, they had, I forget what it was. I think it was Broadway Limited, a thunderstorm kit, which of course you can no longer find. But yeah, it was a set. Comes with a speaker that makes the noise. Comes with lights that do the flashing. Couldn't find the set, so what the hell? I'll give it a shot on my own.
Yeah. Well, Zach, if they don't make it anymore, that means you can sell it for 5 times its original.
This is true.
That's right.
True, true.
This is true. Get in line. Come on. I'll
Okay,
do
everything
this.
is rare. That's
Fair.
I
Yeah,
wish the camera doesn't do it justice, though. That's the bad part. I wish I could catch it better.
Well, we'll just
Yeah.
have to come down there and see it in person, Bunker.
That's
Come on
right.
down.
That's a road trip. See,
That's right.
we can repeat this live stream again next year, and Zach, Country Bunker, will have a completely new layout, completely dressed,
Yeah.
and Jason's layout will look exactly like it does right now.
Oh, come on. Ouch.
Well, look at the monster that Jason has. I mean, that is just straight out impressive.
It is.
I
It
am
is
very,
the
very
biggest
envious.
train table I've ever seen. When
It's
I
huge.
was in Michigan, it was a treat, and
I can only
take,
imagine.
I can.
It's a nice size, is what I'd say. But then I do realize just how big it is when I want to wire one switch. And it
Oh,
takes
good,
me
man.
15 minutes to run one wire from the opposite end all the way through the stringers and into the wiring panel. I'm like, this is gonna take a little while. So
Is the old layout completely down now?
no, it still lies in ruins. I would
Does it?
say I'm gonna try to get a clip of it in the next few weeks, hopefully. I really need to take a weekend to finish tearing it down because it used to be something my parents were like proud to show their friends. They'd be like, "Oh, look at our son's train layout. Look how cool that is." And now it's just a pile of like gross, torn down plaster, and they're just like, "Please get this out of our basement." So it's the bench work is still up, and there's a little bit of scenery scattered around, but it's a pretty sad sight to
Is
see.
it?
So
I watched
All
that
right,
layout.
you have the New Hope right behind you.
well, having this thing up and running makes it a lot easier to tear that one.
Oh,
down.
absolutely.
Say that.
Absolutely.
You know, I was gonna before we segue, and again, I don't know, Sid, if you're watching the Q&A, but there's such a connection between these channels. You know, when I was thinking about, you know, kind of building a layout in 2020, that summer I was watching Zach's videos, right? And before I started watching Zach's videos, I had been watching Jason and Sid and RJ have all been at it for a long time. And I'll tell you how I discovered Chris in a second. So I'd always been watching those guys, and I'm like, yeah, this is really fun. I like how they're doing these videos. And then along comes Country Bunker. And I was wiring my dad's layout, and I'm like, Dad, check out this guy. He's like having the best time. He's like down in Florida. Watch this. Next thing you know, I was there with my parents for the weekend. My wife was away, and like me and my daughters were staying there, like a fun, like family weekend. My dad and I went through like all your whole video catalog that weekend, sitting on the couch. And I was like, man, I want to be like Country Bunker. This guy is great. So when I went to make my channel, I started kind of like looking at other channels, and I wanted to make my channel called Chris Trains. But then I'm like, there's a guy who's got Chris's Trains. And I'm like, like, who is this guy with this backwards hat? And next thing you know, I'm watching all the Chris's videos. I'm like, that is a sick layout. That's awesome. And then fast forward a couple months, and then I'm meeting everybody. So this is really cool. This is the first time, like I said, we've all been able to be together. I know the 5 of us have
A lot
done
of
some
fun.
stuff, but just really, as you would say, Zach, I'm very tickled that you are here.
Very
This is
tickled.
great.
That's right.
Yeah, Zach.
So what does everybody have on the track tonight?
If you don't mind, I'll go first because I was actually about to address that. Over my shoulder is Zach. I don't know if you know this, but that 765. The whole reason I have that is because of your video that you did.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm happy to oblige. There.
You made that engine shine, dude.
Yeah. And you know, it was at I think when this train arrived, and I spent, you know, a whole bunch of money on it, and it's on the tracks, and I'm like, wow, that Country Bunker's got a really good YouTube channel, because I can't remember the last time I watched someone's YouTube video and then I went, I have to have that engine. So thank you, Zach. That was an outstanding
Absolutely.
video.
And
you
thank
did.
you.
Because of that, I now have the awesome nickel plate 765 as well. So that's what I just threw on. Everything else was in my layout update today. Boring Norfolk Southern, so don't worry about it.
Well, I'm dying to see it. Like you say, it came out around lunchtime, and I didn't have a chance to go check it out. But I'm definitely going to be checking that video out after this.
Awesome.
But I appreciate the kind words. Thank you.
So
I
you
can.
have a proper track camera set up tonight. What are you running?
Yeah. It's become a running joke that this one engine I'm running is oddly rare and unique. I'm running an Uncharted J.
What?
It's so rare that Zach and I both own it. I know it's so rare.
I was hoping you'd have the other one because then I'd really be angered.
Oh, look in the back left corner is that A2 Burke.
Oh, you SOB. You SOB. All right, guys. It was nice seeing you all.
In the back.
Crowded J is kind of like the Pontiac Fiero of trains, where like everyone's neighbor seems to have one, and they all think it's really rare.
Oh, that's funny. My dad will like that joke. He had a Fiero back in high school, but the
Well, I'll give you that. For one of the rare ones, it does seem to be quite everywhere.
Yeah, like
it's a cool engine. It's worth showing off. I think that's
the way I interpret, like the way I did it was I got both engines. I got the Uncharted J, was having fun with it, and then I found the A2 Burke and made a lot of people upset that I owned it. And then I was like, if there's so much, like, let me switch to so you can see me talking. If there's so much going on with this engine, if people like it this much, then I should do a video on them. And no one had really done a video on the Uncharted J or the A2 Burke. So I made it, and that video just caught traction. It was like the first video where I did a thumbnail, like, and then I just talked about them. I was really getting into MTH stuff. Like when I was younger, I was just like full on old '90s Lionel. And these were like my first two really nice high end MTH steam engines. And from there, that video kind of made my style that I have now. And yeah, they're definitely cool. The thing with the Uncharted J is there's always one on the market. There's always one. There's always
been one on eBay at $9.99.99 for like 5 years.
Yep, there's always one on the market, but it's just people don't want to, of course, buy that one, so they can never find them because that's the only one. You had your hobby shop got one, and so that's awesome. When I saw you got that, I was like, yes, he's joining the N&W gang.
Oh yeah. But, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say. And then the other engine I was running is the Lionel FEF number 8444. That's kind of a normal engine.
Oh yeah, it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing.
Yeah. But
I've got. Is that what else? You said you got the A2 and you got the Uncharted J on. Is that it?
No, I got the FEF and the Uncharted J. The A2 is just in the background, just
Gotcha. It's waiting to come to Country Bunkers.
Road trip time.
That's right.
No, I'll give a shout out to my buddy Eric from Eric Trainman. If viewers, you don't watch Eric Trainman's videos, then you got to get on those. His layout's fantastic. His videos are great. But he was here hanging out with me and Sid a couple weeks ago. That was probably 2 months ago now. And Sid brought his A2 Burke, and I think it was no more than 4 days later that Eric sent me a text message that he had one. He bought it right away. Mm-hmm. But that is a nice engine. But I've got right now the Mohawk Pacemaker Mohawks on, and then I've got my Polar Express Acela on as well, and I've got some Strasbourg stuff as well. But I wanted to I had to point this one out. If you are a Strasbourg fan, Metka just announced a custom run Union Line boxcar. So get on their site. There's only 100 of these being made, and I know that they're running out. So I don't know if Lionel LLC is still on here, but jump on the Medca's site and snag one of those, because that is one of the Strasbourg boxcars. So if you're into Strasbourg stuff or collecting that fleet, you're going to want to get on that, because like I said, only 100 of those are being made. And I had the pleasure of working with Stu from Metka on that, which is really exciting. We've got some other cool stuff that we've been working on coming out soon. So I just need to plug that because it was a fun experience for me. But I've got some Strasbourg stuff and some other reefers here as well. So we'll see if we pull those out too.
And it even applies for not even just Strasburg fans. If you're just a fan of the Pennsylvania Railroad, it's a great looking car, and it looked good behind any steamer.
Yep. RBP, what do you have?
We have an assortment of random things running tonight. So next to me is the Pacemaker Mohawk by Lionel. This video was supposed to be out 2 videos ago, but it got bumped twice, I think. So we'll eventually do a video on it. And then the Texas Special from trains.com is rolling that way. It just came by at the beginning. Just got the Station Sounds car for that one today, which is pretty cool. And then behind me on the upper track, we have an MTH Commodore Vanderbilt Hudson that supports breast cancer awareness. So it is pink, because I have a thing for pink trains. What can I say? And then we have a set of Chesapeake and Ohio F7s that are also running on the upper line, MTH. So we have Lionel running down here on the main track, and we have MTH on the elevated line. I have an MPC Chessie Steam Special on the track too, but I got to mute myself before that sucker starts running because it's really loud and obnoxious when it's running around the track. That's how we like it. That's what I'm running.
So, RJ, I assume you're not running some invisible train on your layout.
No, I'm running Wonder Woman's model train behind me right now.
It looks like, Jason, you said before you got your amazing Berkshire there that I'm still jealous of you and Zach for, and you're running your veterans unit. I can't tell if that's the veterans unit or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
260E.
Yeah, the veterans unit. Then what is Zach running this evening?
We got a little mix. We got Lionel up top. Got a Lionel Santa Fe 120th anniversary set. Great minds think alike with both y'all. The Berkshires here as well running around. And imagine that, the Unshrouded J too. And then we got the MTH BNSF ES44 25th anniversary running around the outside loop. All kinds of fun stuff.
Well, that's awesome.
Volume's muted on my trains. I hope it's not making a bunch of noise on your end.
Yeah, I got mine. I got my volumes all turned off. I hope mine isn't doing too much. But since we're running some trains here, we can give while our trains are running. We can just look in the chat and see if anyone's asking questions. I'm seeing lots of very more like specific questions because we got a ton of people here. We got a bunch of different audiences coming together, asking questions about Zach, Jason, just all of you. And I'll just go through the chat here and just find things that people are asking. If you guys have something you want to say, feel free. I know Chris, you had something to say. Was it about your articles? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm working on trying to pull some stuff up here, and then I'll talk about that if I can get my remote to work here.
All good. Let me find. Yeah, if any of you have anything to say, feel free. I'm just looking through the chat, trying to see what people are saying. Looks like we got 141 people watching right now. We got a lot of people.
Since everyone was asking and I forgot to answer, I'm not going to Spring York. I will be there in October.
Okay, so yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of York, I want to mention that just because it's kind of a topic that comes up every once in a while. Is for those of you who don't know, the October York train show is more popular than the April show. The reasoning is it's train season. October is like train season, and it's right before Christmas time, and there's just more people at it. The April show is still very, very interesting, but there's not as many manufacturers and not quite as popular. But I just wanted to bring that up because every once in a while I get a question asking like, do you go to both Yorks or do you just go to one, or what's up with that? I thought I would address that question real quickly. Got a comment here about Chris. People are loving the red trains.
I figured with all of the background, I had to do something that didn't blend it. So I picked red. Plus, I haven't gotten a chance to run this Texas Special enough yet, so that was another part.
That's a
Even
beautiful
the
engine.
pacemaker.
Congrats on that. That's a beautiful piece.
Zach,
Looks
you were
like-
looking at that, weren't you? I think you were.
Not at that particular one. It took me forever finding the post-war F3. But yeah, that was pretty impressive seeing that one that you got. Not quite all the bells and whistles as yours.
I don't really mind if they don't have the bells and whistles. I like the old stuff too.
Let's see here. Oh, looks
Somebody
like
asked, why the shirt? Why the Katie shirt? I should change this shirt one time. I'm too afraid to. I don't think people would recognize who I am.
The Katie man.
The story behind the Katie shirt is not anything significant. So when I was looking at different railroad logos, I liked this logo. And it's the kind of logo I'm like, I could wear this out in public and it doesn't scream train. And it's unique. So I actually have my wife printed on a shirt with a cricket maker. So if you ever had a cricket maker, you can make your own shirts. That's where this came from. Next room over. And now I have a whole bunch of them, like Peter Griffin. That's what my closet looks like. Same shirt.
I'm taking everybody on a
You
tour.
get a lot of people requesting to purchase them.
Mainly people requesting me to change the shirt, so we'll have to see. Rail Chief says, sorry, I got to catch up on the chat here. Here's a good question for everybody. This is actually, Bunker probably has a good answer to this too. What is the rarest train or train set that you guys have in your collection?
you guys go
Not
first.
you,
I'll
Jay,
go
but
last.
I don't know
The
for me.
rarest for me would have to probably be the Z6 Challenger.
Oh, yeah.
That would be one of the rarer ones.
I was thinking
Aside
your
from the Unshrouded J.
I was thinking your Illinois Central F3s. Those are pretty.
Those are up there too. But I think the Z6 is a little more up there.
Well, how do I say this? There's that word is so universally used. There's like
Yeah.
I have pieces that are like there's not very many of them, but it's not desirable. Then I have pieces that there's tons of them. Like it's more desirable, but there's a few more of them. If we're going off of just low count, I own a Right of Way Industries Berkshire. It's a Kanawha. It's the C&O Berkshire, and there's only 770 of them in existence. So that's probably the rarest thing that I own is a C&O Berkshire.
Yeah, I guess if we're going that route, it would be the Strasbourg 972, which was a custom run from Nicholas Smith Trains. There's only 25 of those that were made. So that would be the rarest engine that I have. I think the Angus. I mean, obviously
that
you
Angus
mass
is
produce
awesome.
that, but there's not a lot of them. You don't see too many of those out there. I feel like I see more now that I own one.
Mine would be this 763E, which, if you watched my video where I run all the passenger trains, I refer to this as an MPC 783. So, blooper on my part. But when you're recording until like 3 a.m., you say crazy things. But yeah, this Hudson right here is probably the rarest one in my collection. Still runs.
It's a nice piece.
It's
Yeah.
It's between two for me. I'm always getting questions about the Burlington Northern SD70 Max. They're really hard to find from MTH. And the other one is technically rare, but maybe not as desirable as it used to be, which was the original Dealer Appreciation Norfolk Southern F7s. Like, before MTH released them a second and third time, they were really sought after, and they were selling for like double and triple MSRP, and it took me years to get the whole set, but now it's like, they came out with it a bunch of times now, so it's not as cool anymore.
I actually I went and grabbed the Berkshire. Here it is. It's just kind of different from your normal just Berkshire. Like everyone loves the Polar Express and the 765, and they're awesome. This is just a C&O Kanawha, which is a little different from your your normal Berkshire. That's probably the rarest thing that I own.
And for me, I guess in terms of numbers, my rarest piece would be my Long Island Railroad Camelback, which was a custom run done by the Nassau Lionel operating engineers. That was
That thing's so nice.
and you still need to see it in person. That was
I know.
one of 70. But then I also have the Weaver Tennessean, and even though they made 200 of those, I would say it's one of two with Proto Sounds 3 and upgraded by Sid with white wall.
Oh, wait a minute. What was it upgraded with?
It's upgraded by me with Proto 3.
Oh, it was to Proto 3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it was a Proto 3 getting swapped to something else.
Oh, no.
No, it had the old QSI sounds that sounds like a maraca in the tender.
That's
but
awesome.
then I also have a box car that was done from a TCA that it doesn't exist online. There are no pictures of it. It doesn't exist in any of the price guides. It doesn't exist anywhere. So I can't imagine many of those were made, but I wouldn't be able to tell. But like how Sid was saying, just because it's rare doesn't mean it's valuable or sought after.
No, of course. See a question in the chat. Do any of you guys have the Strasbourg number 90 on order?
I do.
Do you?
Yep.
So do I.
So I saw them on Facebook the other day. It looked like they were there recording the sounds.
Yeah, they were up there yesterday. Yesterday they were there, and I shot Kunkel a message. They said they had a pretty positive day. They'll be back up again soon, so I'm hoping that means they will be back recording 89. That's fingers crossed. But I'm
You just
hoping
gotta
they
put your tent outside and just stay there and watch, Chris.
I know.
Creep around the parking lot.
I can hear them from my front porch. So it's, I feel like I need to be more involved in these things,
I still can't wait for the first video up on YouTube, and the first comment is going to be, "Oh, it sounds terrible. These sounds aren't accurate
People say
whatsoever."
negative things on YouTube. What?
It's
Well,
gonna be
when
wild.
you put yours
Guys,
up,
we're
we'll have to make
listening
sure
to
we
it.
provide you with the first comment. So your dream comes true.
It's not going to be RJ because you ordered from Charles Rowe, and it's going to take him 4 weeks to ship it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm better off walking up to Charles Rowe and
Oh,
getting it.
geez.
Yeah, everyone's had the passenger cars for like the 90s passenger cars for a little while now, but I'm finally getting mine tomorrow. The Charles Rowe finally shipped them, but
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I'm sure they're getting a ton of orders, but then I ordered
Yeah.
the Polar Express from Train World, and I had it in a day. You just got to tip
Did you
your hat
really?
to. Yeah, ordered it like literally the next day. It's on my doorstep. Their shipping's unbelievable. We had another question. Well, the one question, we go back to the rarest thing on your layout. So right now, the rarest thing on my layout is that Strasbourg 972, which was a custom run. It's a Lionel engine. I'm going to have a more rare engine on my layout very, very soon. It's completely custom. It is a complete one-of-a-kind engine that I cannot wait for. I actually bought it a while ago, and it's been getting some work done from the man in the top left corner of your screen, and it's going to be awesome. I cannot wait for this engine. So I will put a video out on that. That's just a tease for everyone in the chat to make sure you're watching.
What it is.
I'm not going to tell you what it
You're
is.
gonna go
I've been
through
building
all
this
that.
up since October.
There's a little treat inside the box for you, Chris. A little custom touch.
All right. Well, I hope it's a rebate check.
A rebate check.
No, it's all good. I'm super excited for that. But there was another question earlier. That one was about how do you afford all this stuff to get started? Wanted to for a while, but I guess I just kind of started a mass production way. We all just chip away, man. Like if you're thinking that I decided to get into this hobby and then like snap my fingers and this is what
It doesn't
was here.
happen overnight.
No.
Nope.
That is not exactly. It is a grind and just taking your time and being patient and realizing that I think the key here is to like you set a budget and you got to stick to your budget. Otherwise you're going to get yourself in debt and then you're going to, that's never a fun place to be. So figure out what you can afford, buy what you can afford. Don't overextend yourself. And I think also, if there's something that you want, save your money and buy that thing. You know, saving $3,000 for an Acela set is the same as buying three $1,000 engines.
Well,
What are you
and the
going to be
nice thing
happier
is,
with?
I'm not a huge pre-order fan, but the great thing about pre-ordering that is on your side is that gives you a year to pay that engine off. Usually, if you got a good dealer, you go to them. If they're really good and they know you, they won't even ask you for a down payment. They'll order it. They'll say, okay, pay for it once it gets here. But personally, with my pre-orders, hey, here's a couple $100 I've saved up for this month or a couple months. Throw it at that payment.
Yeah, what I do is like I knew that I had a year to save up for the Acela. It was gonna cost X amount, so I divided that up into 12 payments, 12 months.
RJ's accounting is coming out here. You want to pull up an Excel sheet while you're at it?
Which is funny. I work in finance now, but I did not go to school for finance. But I divided by 12, and I put that bit of money aside every month. So really, I'm paying $280 a month for an Acela rather than $3,000 for an Acela when it comes in.
But I would say the biggest thing is it's over time. Like a lot of the trains that are on my channel, aside from the modern ones that are in recent catalogs, a lot of these trains have been around for a long time. Even before my layout was built, they sat on these windowsills in my basement before the layout was built, or they were boxed and they would come out, they'd go back in the box, or I would keep some of them at my parents' house because Dad had a layout before I ever did. And it was over time. I mean, I remember being a 9-year-old kid and looking at catalogs at the big engines and thinking, whoa, I hope one day I could have something like that. And over time, that kind of happens. So it's all cyclical. But
kind of piggybacking off that, going back to childhood, I think there's one person this hobby really needs to thank, or one person out of the family. That's Grandma. I mean, every train store I've been to, it's always Grandma bringing the kids in, showing them the trains. And the kids are always loving it and eating it up. That's how the kids get into it, and it just starts to grow from there. And that comes back to time. I mean, Grandma buys you that toy because that's how it was with me, and get you that little train, and then it just blossoms as you grow and you get older, and next thing you know, you got trains taking over your house or your basement.
Like I'm the youngest guy here, and
rub it in.
I'd say no. In this, and for a guy my age in this hobby, I'd say I'm pretty fortunate to have the stuff that I have. And
you got an amazing collection, Sid.
Thank you, Zach. That means a lot. I wouldn't say that I was grinding for like 4 years in high school, but I made trains my passion. Like the engineering and all the electronics, I made that my passion. Like people said, like, did you play sports? And I was like, yeah, I didn't do sports in high school, but I made trains my passion. And if you work at something and just keep to it, you'll definitely get there. Like I didn't get all this just recently. Like almost everything that I had that's 90s related. Like I have a couple friends that love 90s trains. Like I own a ton of trains from the 90s, and most of those I've had for years that I got when I was younger, whether it was a Christmas present or a grandmother or me buying it after saving money from like some kind of job. And then more recently, I've been able to, of course, then just buy some of these higher end models. Like right here, you can actually see a triplex. I actually got that in high school, but it wasn't until recently that I upgraded it and put newer electronics in it. And something I tell people is that your trains are yours. No matter what you have, just being in this hobby will do a lot for you, and just work at it. If you want something, like you've all said, just stick to it. Like Chris said something about like the Acela being like almost $3,000. Like just save. Like don't waste your money on little things. Don't compensate. Sometimes we might feel inside like we need something now, but it's you feel a lot better inside when you just wait, you save your money, and then you get that one big item instead of a bunch of small ones. Because
that's what I was just. RJ said it, quoted it several videos ago in one of his videos, going after quality instead of quantity. Because I was always bad at that, going over for the quantity. But I mean, as your collection grows, it's like, I'm not really running this. This isn't as nice as I originally thought it is. And you swap over.
True.
As my wonderful girlfriend Nicole always likes to point out whenever I step into a train store, you can only have so many boxcars.
Yep.
At the end of the day, you know, you have to prioritize what you're going to enjoy. And yeah, it's really cool to have 100 freight cars, but you're never going to run 100 freight cars.
Nope.
Well, hey, we can try, damn it.
Oh yeah.
I have to just
No,
bring
it's
up.
true.
I have to bring up one
Jason
little
looks over on
thing.
his layout with 200 auto racks on it.
I have to bring up one little thing. I've never had a super chat or anything like that before, but Human City Junction donated $2 and saying great show to all of us.
Awesome.
So
Thank you, Human City Junction.
Human City,
That's
thanks.
33.
And,
That's
That gets
33
split
cents.
between the
That's
six of us.
33
yeah, I'll split it 6 ways. but
Well,
thank you,
Heath
for
does
that.
all scans. He's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Everyone, for all of you watching, if you haven't subscribed and watched everyone else's videos other than mine, or like go check everyone's videos out. Like I said, their channel links are in the description. This wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for them. And I'd like to again just thank all of you for being on here, and of course my guests. Thank you for being on here and talking. This is a lot of fun. This is really
yeah.
cool.
No,
So
this is
Sid,
great.
when does the check hit? When does the check hit for coming on?
What is the check-in?
I'll have my accountant call you and make
Yeah.
sure you send me a check that cashes, unlike all the ones we sent to the IRS.
we've had a question come up a couple times in the chat tonight. I just have been too distracted, but yeah, it's who's asking here? It's Wolf Brick Strains is asking about what's a good way to get started. Like, what's a good diesel to start with? What's a good train to get started with? He directed the last one at you, Bunker. You want to take it? Like, what do you recommend to somebody who's getting started, or like a good
They're all
starter
good
engine?
to start with, but of course I'm a bit partial to MTH. I'd say a good
No,
rail
no,
king
not at
diesel.
all. Look
I mean, I
at
say
Jason,
that,
the
look
big
what
old
I'm
smile
wearing,
on his
like-
face.
I don't think you can go wrong with a Rail King piece of equipment personally, but that's my take.
Yeah,
I got two.
I've got one right here. This is one I picked up at York last fall. Rail King.
Well, that's
Little
not
picture
yours.
for my son.
Yeah.
No, that's true. This is Miles'. This is my son's. But like $300 PS3. This thing is awesome.
Beautiful.
Great place to start, and it can run on any curve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. So I got two trains here. This is a Rail King like Christmas train set, but from a Christmas train set. But again, Rail King steamer. It can run on any curve you want. Has proto sounds in it. It sounds amazing. Runs really well, and it'll definitely smoke out the room wherever you set it up. These MTH engines smoke really well. And
I
then
would
this-
say though, like, if I could add, not to cut you
no,
off.
you go. Yeah, go Zach.
If there's anything I could add, like, I think if you're just starting out, like, that is the perfect time to experiment, because you're
Yeah.
always going to have somebody in one camp. Oh, Lionel only, they're the best.
Yeah.
MTH, they're the best. Yada yada yada. I noticed a lot of times in some of the hobby shops that I go to, I'll notice somebody ask, well, what do you recommend? MTH, Lionel, whoever, Atlas O, the list goes on. And I hear a lot of the hobby shop owners will say, basically, pick a Trek system that you like and stick with that. Nah, I think it goes a lot further than that. You gotta,
Yeah.
like I said, you gotta really experiment with it if you can.
Yep.
Pick one up and then try out the other one if you're able to. Don't lock yourself into the corner. Because I love it all. I got Lionel, I got MTH. I'm just starting to get some Atlas O trickling in and other bits and pieces. Menards is now entering the force as well. So don't lock yourself into a corner, but that's just my personal take. Yeah, there you go, Sid.
So
Yeah,
true.
no, and I agree, because that's how you learn. Like, that's how I learned, was with a Cab 1 remote, and then I got a TIU, and I just kind of hacked at it until I figured
Yep.
it out. And then I originally had Gargraves track all over my carpet. My carpet used to be Berber, so it was real rigid, and the Gargraves track worked well. And then when I had the new plush carpet put in, it was just flexing, and my trains were shorting out. So when I started kind of designing the layout and put the switches in, I figured I was going to be 80 years old by the time I did my layout. So I just did fast track, and I was like, you know what? It's loud. It's not the most prototypical track, but it is smooth running track, and I don't know if anyone can argue with that. It's very along the top.
And it's available. It's available everywhere.
Right.
I've got a bunch down here. So I think Wolf Bricks just asked about Lion Chief. So I've got a table that I built here for it's a little bit lower for my children, and their grandfather gifted them some Lion Chief stuff. So I have this the Super Chief set here with some add-on cars. It's a bit of a mess because this is for the children, but they've got their Thomas and Percy train. There's a UP diesel set, the Sherman Hill set as well. And this is all just on this table. It's on casters, so I can wheel it around. It's really mobile. 2 loops of track on here, and eventually I'll actually do some more scenicking work on this. My daughter is 6, my son is 3, and I really want them to have a vision for this and kind of get into that artistic mind that I talk about in my videos. So it's going to be pretty bland until they're ready for it. But the Lion Chief stuff is great too. You know, the cool thing about Lion Chief stuff is when you max out the remote on these things, so they're going to come with this remote. If you max out the speed, Lionel has calculated how fast these things can go on the tightest of curves without derailing, and they're all programmed 1 speed step below that. So you can run these things full bore and they will not derail, which is great for kids because my kids come down here and it's just like, go. And those things are whipping around the layout, you know. Awesome. But it was a great design on Lionel's part, and they're super affordable for something. You're going to get track, you get the power, the wall wart, and then, you know, you get everything you need. So Lion Chief's a great place to start, and they look awesome too.
Well, I have to interject because Matthew's O-Scale Traits just gave a great suggestion. He said you should lend there it is. You should loan your kid's layout to RJ.
RJ, you can take that up with
I'll
mine.
drink to that. Yeah.
I only wanted
the
a
Estella units on.
with it.
Blow the horn, take it off the track. Put the other one on. Blow the horn, take it off the track. That's right. You might blow the horn on one end.
Will my Estella fit on that layout?
No. It would probably be going all the way around.
I don't even
So another thing,
stored on there.
Yeah. Another thing too, if you're interested in starting, is obviously if you're on YouTube already, that's where I started, right? Like I got back into the hobby when I was 25, 27, but I watched YouTube. But another place to get back in is the publication. So I know that it seems old school, but you look at like Classic Toy Trains has a ton of great articles out there that is going to help you see what other people are doing. It's going to introduce you to hobbyists that aren't on YouTube. It's obviously like Chris was on, Jason was on a year ago. They were published in there. So they're on YouTube, but you can get a better taste of who they are as people through that publication. But there's also going to be other articles that are going to be in there. I'm hoping to have some out there as well, which would be pretty awesome. Collaborating with them a little bit, and one day maybe I can get this layout as an exclusive in there if I can get it to a point where it's worthy of them.
You're very
checking out some of
check
out some of those
not
articles.
To cut you off, I really enjoyed your farmhouse or your farm scene video you put out the other day. Some beautiful work.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, that's you know, just finding the time and finding the vision and just going at it, and it takes time and patience and practice, but those of you that are getting started, like it's going to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
We have a little bit of money rolling in here. We're up to $22.
Thank you, Train
Man Dan, Atlanta Rail Productions.
Train Man Dan just wants me to do this 10-engine lash up, and he's trying to bribe me at this point.
He is.
Well, hey, wait a minute. Wasn't the last bribe going to be to get that Class A?
Oh yeah, wasn't that a bribe or something?
That's true.
Yeah.
I thought maybe tonight Jason would commit to buying a Lionel engine, but yet another stream, yet another disappointment.
You never know. But we were talking about
there's something on order.
There's something, but we were talking about layouts and just getting into it. But it's interesting because we have people in here that all have different track systems. There's a couple of us that have fast track, but then we have the real tracks, the Atlas track, and then Ross Gargrave's mix. And I've run trains.
We have all the tracks. I started to tell you, we have all the tracks covered in the 6 of us, right?
Pretty much,
except for scale tracks. Yes.
Except for scale. Well, scale track.
That's just the idea. Yeah. But what I was going to say is, each system has their own pros and cons. And Zach, you've talked about the real tracks, and you've shown how you made it work. I did a video on making fast track work. RJ, you've talked about it as well, and Chris, and also Chris, you both just have layouts that run really well. And Jason, I ran trains on your layout when it was just a bare table, and it was really nice. So they all work. You just have to experiment and find what you like. That's really what it comes down to, is just what you like. If you like it, you can make it work. They're all designed to work. You just need to put a little more effort into some, or do things differently than just putting them together.
Well, as long as you understand the nuances, then you know what to look for. Like if you have continuity issues on a piece of fast track, which happens a lot, right?
Yeah.
You might need to give it an extra lead. I think that same thing kind of happens on real track, Zach. You've probably seen that, right? Where you might have a continuity issue between two pieces.
Honestly, I did a lot with tubular track. I had a Menards track, which I don't think we have here on the video at the moment.
No.
I had some issues with that stuff, but this real tracks personally, like, this does great with the power.
Zach,
I haven't had a
are
whole
you
lot of
using-
issues of losing power anywhere.
Is your real tracks all when MTH was still using solid rail, or is some
It's a mix. It's a mix. It's kind of, that's where the pain in the rear kind of comes. The old stuff, the solid rail, that's the good stuff. The hollow rail, which is the newer stuff, trying to hook that up to the older stuff as well as to itself. That's when you run into issues, because there's no rail pins. So the rails don't want to line up perfectly, and that's where it becomes a little bit of a headache.
2 layouts ago, before I was even on YouTube, my layout was all MTH real tracks, and it was all solid rail, and it worked great. I had no issues with it. But then down the line, I got some of the tubular stuff, especially to run during Christmas, and I seemed to have more problems with that. But
Did you?
But hey, I see it on your channel, and it's working perfectly. So
Yeah, I can't complain. It's been doing me well. It's not near as pretty as yours, but
I don't even have ballast yet. So
That Atlas track, though, is some smooth running track.
it's some good stuff. I've had I started with Lionel tubular as a kid, then I did the real tracks, which I thought worked really well, and then I got into Atlas, and yeah, I love Atlas track. I don't think there's one that's right or wrong, but I love this track so much. It makes me happy.
I wanted so bad when I was redoing this second layout, seeing your layout and other layouts with the Atlas stuff. Oh, I wanted to give that stuff a run, but of course this was in the middle of the pandemic. Trying to find that stuff, I know, as you know.
Oh yeah, I was getting it from. There was one day where I had private sellers. I drove to 3 different private sellers around like the entire state of Michigan.
Did you really?
Just to pick up like a few sections here and a few sections there. It was no fun.
I can imagine.
It's gotten a little better, but yeah, during that 2020 and most of 2021, it was hard to find Atlas track just about anywhere.
RBP, what's the oldest train you have in your collection?
It's probably this one. This is a pre-war Red Comet by Lionel. Commodore Vanderbilt style of shell. And this thing probably runs better than half of the trains I own.
What year was that
I
again?
could put it on at 7 a.m. and let it run till midnight. It would still be going, no issue.
That was probably like a 35 or like close to.
It's a 264E for the people that are asking the specifics on it. Yeah, 264E.
Let's see what else here.
We got the Matt O'Skill podcast that joined us. Hey guys, thanks for coming on.
This
I had the pleasure of just being on that podcast not long ago. Give it a listen.
We have this question here. I would just recommend, if you're going to put track on the floor, use something with road bed, which would basically be fast track or rail tracks. Those are your best options when it comes to that. We got tons of comments on track, and another
donation. Dale, thank you, man. That you guys are just fantastic.
Yeah, that's super nice. Thank you.
We had a question earlier about different types of systems, command systems, line chief, team. I can't find it. Here you go.
It was about the difference.
The difference between transformer control trains. So you're talking transformer conventional. So you provide power to the track, and the engine's going to go based on how much power you're supplying to the track. There's TMCC, which is Lionel's command control. Can someone tell me a year when TMCC came out? Was that
94.
94.
94.
Right.
It was the year it was first announced and showed at York.
Thank you. So TMCC is going to be Lionel's Trainmaster command control. You can run TMCC with a legacy remote.
But forget all of that stuff, and you just want to look for this right here. I'm telling you. I mean,
That's it. I got one right here. So then you've got.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, Lion Chiefs are going to have their own remote for their. It's like an RF signal, I think. Like it's more radio controlled ish. Then there's Legacy, which is going to have more features. It's like the upgraded TMCC. In really layman's terms, it just has a lot more features than TMCC did. And then you have Proto Sound 1, Proto Sound 2, and Proto Sound 3. And I am not the MTH person to explain that. I just know that it uses this guy here.
I'm overflowing. There's too many.
Beautiful.
Why can't I hold all this control? Says
It's a
Sid.
smorgasbord of TIU equipment.
Yeah, for those of you in the chat, I mean, we're on Sid's Trains channel, so you all know Sid pretty well. But if you don't, if you're visiting from someone else's channel, the fascinating factoid about our dear Sid. So Sid can wrench on any train. I think a lot of us, you look at something like this MPC Southern Crescent, which somebody was commenting about this earlier. I'm sorry, I'm not selling it. I love this train. But you look at something basic. I think all of us could open the shell in this, grease it up, service it, and put it back together. I think that's pretty fair. But you look at some of these newer trains, whether they're MTH or whether they are Lionel, and they can be very intimidating to crack open. A lot of wires for the Lionel for service or what have you. Sid is capable of fixing any of those, right? And
Yeah.
I've watched him do it enough to the point where he's actually given me the confidence to crack open the shells on some of these things. And it's really neat. When you break it down, they're not as complex as they seem. But I wouldn't have known that if it hadn't been for Sid. So I've been encouraging Sid with his new Workbench series on his channel to take us through the journey of fixing one of these trains.
That would be awesome.
Because if you look at what he does, if he breaks down the components inside, like this is the power board, this is the motherboard, this is the radio board, and you identify some of the common problems without having, and Lionel's probably going to be like, Chris, why are you telling people to do this on their own? But you could open the shell, replace a radio board, put it back together, and have it running in a half hour versus getting an RA and sending it back only for it to come back to you. I promise it's not as difficult as it seems, unless there's a failed component, right? So
Yeah.
I've overstated a lot of things here. But as someone now who's fixed a couple of my own, thanks to Sid, I think I've been encouraging you, Sid. You got to do that series because it's
I will
great.
totally be on board.
Yeah.
I've always
and
wanted to reach
I hope-
out to Sid and get kind of like the little rundown, this, that, and the other. But I never want to be that guy, get in the way. Like, shut up, dude,
No.
leave me alone.
No, feel free. I'm always willing to help people out.
I message Sid about like 3 times a day asking, is this possible if I buy this?
Or I'll message Sid and just say, hey, something's not right. What are you doing on Sunday? He'll be like, I'll be up. Drive
Yeah.
2.5 hours to come up and just open something up and check it out and fix it. And
Yeah,
Sid, I hope you videotaped that latest project you and I have been working on.
I have tons of photos, and I have some video of it running on my workbench. I don't want to steal the thunder of the engine on that one. I'll leave the beauty shots up to you. But yeah, I have lots of photos that I can do some kind of description on, and maybe it'll be kind of part of another video where I can be talking about various different things. But yeah, and something, Chris, you've learned a lot is it's not always electrical. There's so many mechanical things that can go on, and mechanical stuff isn't as hard to fix. It could be as simple as taking a hammer to something. Like, it sounds crazy to take a hammer to your train,
That
but
never happened, by the way. That never happened. I never hit
yeah,
anybody.
that never did happen to anybody. But it's as simple as just something like that. Like, you don't always have to undo a board or have to solder something. It could be as simple as there's a screw loose because they missed it in the factory. I think it's something that's kind of common I see now is a clicking sound. People hear a clicking sound coming from the inside of their train, and probably like half the time it's just a wire touching the motor and it's making a clicking noise. So
Yeah, that was me. That was my bad. Jason, I wanted to mention this earlier. You were talking about like updates on your layout, but you've been pretty busy with your other hobby. Do you have any news to share with a recent car show?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, my other hobby, I guess you're talking about my Supra. That's another reason why I've been gone for a while. I took the Supra to Cleveland for a big car show 2 weeks ago and was there. It was a 3-day car show at the IX Center. I took first place for best import. So I
Hey,
got a little trophy and everything.
congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
So I think it goes to show that there's other areas that pull us in different directions too, which is why sometimes Jason's either kidnapped or he's at a car show, which is why he's not putting out train content.
Yes.
You can put a Lupa track around the Supra in the garage and run it around it.
Now we're just
Blend it all together, Jason.
And if you because when you get your brand new Lionel engine that one day will come to your house, you can use the app to speak to it, and every time it goes around the Supra, you can make it say, "Ooh, neat."
hey, exactly. If I could park the Supra down here in the basement, I would.
There you go.
Yeah, it's that's another big passion of mine. And I was gonna say earlier about just this hobby and guys asking of how we get into it and how you amass such a big collection. And I think if you're passionate about something enough and you have a strong enough vision, you position things in your life to head towards those goals. And if you do that for long enough, they happen.
Yep.
At least that's how I've always approached it. And it doesn't happen overnight. And a lot of times I've passed up on items I wanted, and I've come back to them years down the road. So it's about being patient and planning, having a long-term view of positioning yourself towards whatever you want to achieve. And
That's it. And grinding.
Sometimes it happens. Yeah, grinding. And you get
I got my first job at 13. Like, people think these things just fell into my lap. I started working at 13 and then worked multiple jobs through high school, worked all through college, and worked my way up in the position I'm in now to not only obviously do the things I love to do with my hobby, but do the things I love to do with my family. So it's all about just work ethic too. You know, don't expect these things to just be gifted all the time. They'll get them gifted as a child. My wife doesn't give me trains though. She reluctantly signs for them from UPS. That's about it.
That's always the question when I say UPS is coming. Do I have to sign for this one? That's what she asked me.
Please be home between this hour. Yeah.
Well, that actually brings up a question I had for y'all, because this is the common one that I see, at least on my channel. Do your wives tolerate your hobby?
My wife tolerates it to the point where she went all the way to Atlanta with me when we went down to visit the trains.com folks. And she had a great time down there. And it was a great experience for a couple of reasons. But one of the biggest takeaways was that she finally saw collections that made mine look so tiny, right? Like when she saw that triaged thing of pallets, right? She's like, okay, all right, our storage isn't so bad now. I don't feel as bad. So I encourage you all to take your spouses to trains.com and tour their warehouse. It will save your marriage.
There you go. So Zach, I have my wife tolerates it. She wasn't sure that I was into trains until I fell back into the hobby when I was in my 20s, which is, I think, a bit of a surprise to her. But I think she appreciates the fact that I am passionate about it. And I mentioned this when I was on the Matt podcast not long ago, that when I tend to fall into a hobby of doing something, I will give 150%. So I want to have the best. I want to do the best that I possibly can do. So that's why I will iterate and tear things down in my layout and redo them as I learn and I grow and I get better at it. And so I think she can appreciate the fact that I'm in the basement by myself working on something artistic instead of out doing gambling or doing some other sort of thing.
Some other bad stuff.
Exactly. And the fact that I've got a group of guys that I talk to a lot and hang out with, I think that she can appreciate that. So it's grown on her a little bit. And she, I think, is coming to York on Saturday morning. I'll be at York on Friday. most of the day, and I plan to go back Saturday, and I'm hoping my wife will be with me so she can at least experience York that day.
Yeah. Well, good. We're not alone. Because that's like it seems to be the stigma or the thought. I see that in quite a bit of videos. Oh, how does your wife deal with you? Oh my God, you did that in front of your significant other. Like, man, who are you guys dating or married to? That doesn't sound like a pretty good relationship. If your significant other can't at least appreciate you enjoying your own time and your own stuff, like, I don't know.
Yep. Don just commented he does trains. His wife does quilts. Don, my neighbor Ron, he does trains and his wife does quilts. It's everyone has their hobby and you find what makes you happy and it's your outlet. That's what's important. So
Nathan Bob chime. I buy a $1,000 tray. My wife buys a $2,000 sewing machine.
sounds like you need another $1,000 train.
There was a question about how we all ended up meeting each other. So if you're in the chat and you are in various social medias that are out there, obviously if you're doing YouTube chat, then you're savvy enough to do all the others. The Matt and Matt O Scale podcast has a Discord server, which is basically a private Facebook type of situation. That's a great way to connect with other content creators. There's a lot of them in there, and it is a public server. So if you go to the Matt and Matt O Scale podcast page, YouTube page, West Chicago Model Railroad has a link to it. Automus has a link to it. That will get you the link that you need. That's the best place to meet up. That's how I met all of these guys, except for Mr. Bunker here, who I just gave him a good old classic email.
Yep. And
lucky enough, he got back to me. So I would suggest that. It's a great way to stay in touch and connect.
Yeah. Discord's great because you can just message back and forth. You can get into voice chats with folks and just connect that way. A lot of us will have our emails like in our community pages of YouTube. So if you have a question, I've always mentioned that I'm all about educating and helping people grow their layouts and their channels. So you can always, I've had a lot of people recently emailing me and just asking me questions, asking me to come consult on their layout projects. So I'm happy to help as I possibly can. So there's Matt and Matt, they're right there. So Matt, can you guys, I don't know if there's a link to Discord you could throw in here for folks into the chat.
I think one of us might have to do it.
Yeah, I can do it. I'll do it. You guys, I'll find the link and post it in the live chat for everyone. Let me see here. Invite.
Perfect. Yeah, so that's a great way to do that. So yeah, if you're interested, check that out.
Yeah,
100%. I think just about most every channel is in there. And not just an O gauge. This is HO. This is N scale. This is all trains, right? This is not. It's all model railroading or just enthusiasts of the hobby who don't even have layouts, who just enjoy rail fanning in general. So there's a great community there. It doesn't necessarily have to be our ultra prototypical 3-rail O scale trains.
That's right.
Yeah, and we're almost at an hour and a half here. Where we've blown right through this.
Yeah, it's on 9:40 here.
So, what'd you say?
Sid, congratulations on hitting 4,000 subscribers just now.
Hey! There we go.
Now all 4,000 subscribers subscribe to me.
I got to thank all of you because not only the followers, but you guys, you all being on here has definitely stirred up some stuff here. Apparently, a bit of change. So I'm gonna have to divvy up some money among some people. But
no, you were nice enough to host tonight, Sid. You can put
take it off my tab
for my future train.
Yeah, take it off my tab too.
That's funny. But I was gonna say is just to kind of wrap up things here. We all have, of course, our own YouTube channels, and again, everyone make sure to check everyone out here. Obviously, this live stream is on my channel, but check Chris out, Chris, Jason, RJ, and of course Zach, and check out their channels. Make sure to subscribe, like all their videos, because it just helps us all. We're all in this community together, and we like supporting each other. But kind of to wrap it up is we always have videos in the pipeline. So I'll start out and we'll just talk about what we kind kind of have coming in the near future, video wise or just content wise. So for me, it's going to be a lot of videos on my workbench, showing how I work on things, the process. And then, of course, I want to do more work on my layout. I have that turntable to install, which I'm really excited. So that'll be the big like layout update for me. But other than that, it's just working on trains is my thing right now. So I'll kind of stick to that, and I'll hand it over to you, Chris. What you got coming?
Yeah. So other than some pre-orders coming in, the project that you've been working on for me, which is probably the bigger one, heading to York, I will vlog York again. If you're going to York, I'll be there Friday, hopefully be there Saturday with my wife. But either way, if you see me, come up and say hi. Those are the big things coming up. And then the underground reversing loop on the layout and just continuing to evolve that. We'll have those videos out soon. So that's it. I've got some articles that I've been working on that will be in Classic Toy Trains magazine as well, coming up hopefully. So subscribe to them. You can do it digitally online, or you can get the print copy. I recommend getting the print copy. Just that tangible magazine's always great. And then you can get RBP to sign it at York for you.
There you go.
RBP, what's coming up for you?
Well, yeah, and I will be at York on Friday, definitely. Maybe a couple of the other days, I'm not sure yet. Definitely Friday. So I'll be up there bringing my dad and my brother this time. Next on the docket for me is definitely going to be running this Chessie Steam special. So those of you who've been watching the channel know that I've been after this set for a long time. So this is great. This came from trains.com. I saw a note earlier. Chris, where did this come from? So this is trains.com, which is where a lot of my vintage trains come from.
Trains with an S or?
It's Trains with a Z.
Oh.
Hey guys, you can use code CTNT at trainswithaz.com. It's code CTNT, save $0 off your purchase.
You know, you're going to get so many people confused with that.
But I'm not lying. You don't save any money.
Wait a minute, you say Trains with a Z?
Trains with
Yeah.
a Z.
So yeah, we're going to be talking about that MPC train. We got a couple of other things we're going to run. So stay tuned. I'll probably have a video out next week. Will be my next one. Mr. Jason, JD Stux, what's new? You just put a video out, but what's next?
Yeah, again, the Layout Update 10 was posted today, so check that out if you haven't already. There's a lot of fun stuff in that video. I think you'll all enjoy it. I do have a really long list of videos that I want to make, and I think I'll have some time to actually film them. I have a new Norfolk Southern Heritage unit to preview. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Another Norfolk Southern Heritage unit? How cool.
What a shocker.
I've got I had an engine arrive today from Classic Toy Trains and Collectibles. I have a custom run engine to unbox still from Stockyard Express. I have another 16 coal cars to officially debut, and
Coal cars?
Yeah, coal cars. And then I just got a super cool item to review. It's a steamer. I'll just tell you, it's an Erie triplex, and my buddy is loaning it to me to run on the layout and review. He got it brand new in the box, and it's only run on my layout, and gosh, I love this thing so much.
You guys suck.
And I'm
Yep.
well, it's not mine. It's at least not yet. I'm really trying to convince him to sell it to me because I've been staring at this thing every single day, running it around the layout. So I'm gonna
Tell him you lost it.
Oh yeah, yeah, and yeah, it was insured for what, $200? Okay, here you go. So yeah, I'm gonna review that here pretty soon. Even though it's older MTH, it's a few years old. It's such a cool engine. I think it's the coolest thing I've ever seen run around the layout. So yep, those are a few of the things that I've got coming, and the backdrops are the big project next.
Those backdrops were beautiful. Where did you grab those from?
Backdrop Warehouse.
Backdrop Warehouse?
Yeah, Rich Batista used them, and
They looked awfully tall.
They are. for the upper portion of my layout, they're 36 inches tall, and then when it drops down, I extended them to 42 inches. So they are very tall, and they almost go up to the ceiling. So
Awesome.
it's gonna really immerse you, I think, into the layout.
No, it is. It's really cool.
Yeah, Rich Batista used them on his layout, and he's my big inspiration. And the backdrops Eric Siegel uses too are from Backdrop Warehouse. I think his are modeled after some maybe the Smoky Mountains. I think the Blue Mountains, if I'm not mistaken. The ones I got are Virginia mountains. So
Are they?
They're not Detroit mountains.
we don't have mountains here. We have gray sky,
Exit ramps.
broken roads.
Oh, plenty of that. So, RJ, what do you have coming?
So I won't take too much time because I kind of explained it earlier. But I actually filmed a video for my brand new, to me, Lionel Legacy Southern 4501 Mikado. I just have to actually edit it, and then I'll get that out. The Acela video should be after that, then the York video, and then some more running sessions on my channel. But thanks for hosting us tonight, Sid. It's been a great
Yeah, no
night.
problem. This was a ton of fun, and we'll finish it off with Zach. What do you have in the pipeline?
Kind of like I mentioned earlier, we got a couple items coming in, hopefully tomorrow or Saturday. So I'm looking forward to getting those up. One I've been dying to do. I'm sure if you've been on my channel, you've probably seen these homemade trees dangling on some styrofoam for the last couple months. I'm looking to do a video on those. That's actually been my holdup on the layout. I want to do a video on making those before going any further.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, I hear tell, an engine I've been waiting on for a year and a half has finally come stateside, or it should be stateside as of today, if not already. I'm going to be as cool as Jason, hopefully here pretty soon. And I'm really looking forward to that engine getting here. Like I say,
Awesome.
be here last August. And
We know what that one is.
We know
Oh,
exactly what that
I'm
is.
tired of waiting, man.
That's gonna be
Yeah,
awesome.
we'll get it to you in August. 6 months later, yeah, we'll get it to you eventually. Oh, yep, it's coming next week.
Hopefully yours doesn't spend 9 months in for repairs.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
that will be really cool. I know tons of people who have been looking forward to that engine. But thank you all, and thank you all to the watcher or the viewers and all the people that have subscribed to my channel in this last couple hours. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you for just watching, whether you're new subscribers or old people that have been watching for a while. And like I've been saying this whole stream, go check out all these channels: Chris, RBP Trains, Jason, RJ, and of course Zach with Country Bunkers Trains. Go check them out. Make sure to subscribe to their channels and like all their videos. They all make amazing content, and this has been a lot of fun. We've gone for about an hour and a half. We've had around 130 people watching this whole time. This has been a lot of fun. We definitely got to do something like this again in the future. This was really cool, just being able to talk with all of you. And Zach, it was an honor being able to talk.
I want to give all of you a big thank you. I mean, I'm absolutely honored seeing all of you guys. I mean, I've been watching Jason for years, so this was just a treat. Chris, RBP, of course, swarming the O-Gauge world. Like I say, I'm just honored and tickled. Other Chris's Trains and Things, with doing all of his great scenery videos. And like I say, it's just a treat. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
man.
Thank you.
Big salute.
Thank you.
I'd give you a salute, but I'll have some ice water with you.
But
All
I
right.
think thank you all for watching, and I think we're gonna end the stream here. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you all later.
We'll
Yes.
be back
Your song,
soon.
Sid.
Until next time.
That's right.
Y'all take
Thanks,
care.
guys.
Take care.